Welcome to Mainland Television Regional News. I'm Graham O'Brien, and in this weekly news roundup, exciting pre-European discovery, World Cup cricket and market day draws the crowds, council meetings gives people a voice, and more. Fruit growers around the region will be watching closely to see how the Ministry of Primary Industries deals with the arrival of the Queensland fruit fly in Auckland this week. The discovery is of significance as the fly has likely arrived as a larvae before making its way into the soil to hatch out as a fly. This insect has the potential to damage our $8 billion fruit export industry if it should establish itself in New Zealand. We reported an incident in 2013 when a Chinese onion fly had been identified in Mapua after hatching out into a bag of imported garlic that was purchased in Motueka's Countdown. The fly was only captured by chance and was sent for identification due to its unusual appearance. If the Queensland fruit fly was allowed into the Nelson Tasman area, there would be a huge financial consequence for our region. And this begs the question, is our biosecurity current screening procedures adequate enough to protect our growers and exporters from such foreign insects? Chrissy Small spoke to Tasman MP Damien O'Connor, who is opposition spokesman for Ministry of Primary Industries.
There's a bit of concern, of course, about this fruit fly from Queensland that's arrived in our shores. How could this have been prevented?
Well, we need to ensure that we've got the very best systems possible at the border. And in spite of the Minister and the government saying we've got world-class system, the fact is we're getting regular failures at the border and we're picking them up. And with the issue of fruit fly, 5 since 2012. And what happened in 2012, and it may be just a coincidence, the government, the national government, decided to stop X-raying of all baggage coming out of Australia. And given the Queensland fruit fly originates from there, it is now in the islands, but that decision, we think, has contributed to more breaches of our border by the Queensland fruit fly.
Right. Now, Damien, so is this a cost-cutting measure for the government?
Look, the government cut the biosecurity budget in 2009 when they first came back into government. They put little bits back into the budget, but the fact is that the economy's grown, that imports have grown over time, and we believe that the system is still not as good as it has to be and needs to be. And in government, Labor doubled the money for biosecurity. This government, has hardly kept pace with inflation. And at a time when we've identified the value of biosecurity, the fact that our economy relies on it to protect our biological systems, the government's simply not delivering what it needs to.
Now, Damien, back in 2013, there was an onion fly that was imported from China in a bag of locally sold garlic. Now, that apparently wasn't the first either that's hit the shores of New Zealand. It does kind of suggest that there is something going awry with the security of imported produce into New Zealand. Is this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're onto it. Look, what we have now is a system that relies on boxes being ticked. And instead of having people inspecting, because we've had a reduction in the number of people doing that, we've got systems that where boxes are ticked, then officials say it's okay for this to come in. Now, we can't always rely on the integrity and honesty of the people who are picking the boxes. And unfortunately, that's why you get things like the onion fly, because they say it's been fumigated, they say it's been fumigated properly, and the fact is it hasn't been. And we can't afford to have that happen as a country that depends upon exports. Most other countries consume most of what they eat. They can control those products, but our reputation internationally is on having a relatively, pest-free status.
Well, Damien, we've got so many growing areas for our fruit in this country, and it's a huge earner for New Zealand. If for example, this Queensland fruit fly were to have a complete takeover of Auckland, That would have great consequences on fruit travelling around our country, wouldn't it?
Well, in fact, it won't take too many more flies to be discovered for us to lose our fruit fly free status. That is, that the countries importing products from New Zealand, some of them could possibly shut down the borders. Now that's disastrous, hundreds of millions of dollars at risk. That's the main consequence. If the outbreak were to grow, then clearly, transport of fruit within New Zealand would be restricted. But the big threat here is that the borders will be shut to our export products, and we can't afford to have that happen.
Now, there must be some concern out there amongst the growers and exporters.
Oh, there is, and I think Hort New Zealand has, blamed the Australians, which is, I think, a bit cute, really. They've got to front up and actually acknowledge, and they, to be fair to them, have been constantly asking government to up its game. But the fact is that failure has occurred once again with a fruit fly. There was no explanation given as to where the ones in Whangarei came from, so we don't know where they came from, which suggests that, we haven't got our systems right yet.
Right. Well, Damien O'Connor, I hope that they get this sorted soon, and thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Chrissy. No worries.
Nelson Market Day brought all kinds of people to town for many different reasons last weekend.
Do you like what the city's done for the day?
Oh, absolutely exciting. My daughter plays in the samba band, and so we were here at the beginning of the day when the festival kicked off. So no, it's really wonderful. I think that having the street closed off and the market, the whole thing's got a wonderful, friendly, family atmosphere, and it's a truly great event, and so we're thrilled to be here.
What brought you down here today?
Just a great atmosphere, have a look around, and some great music.
Oh, no, so not for the cricket?
Maybe have a little look, but yeah, just more the atmosphere. Yeah.
And how long do you think you've stayed in town today?
I'll stay in for a few hours now. Yeah.
And do you usually come down for the Saturday market?
Sometimes, but this is great. It's really great.
What brought you down here today?
A coincidence. We happen to be coming into the other market, and this is on as well.
Wow, great. And have you picked up any bargains, or have you been up there looking at the cricket?
No, we're ignoring the cricket, and we've had picnic lunch from the market, and we've took it up to the cathedral to eat under the trees.
Fantastic. And this has held you in town for a lot longer than what you expected?
Yes. Been here a wee bit longer.
Hey, you certainly got a prime spot here. Did you come down just for the cricket?
Well, yes, we did come down for the cricket, but actually we have just spent 4 days walking the Queen Charlotte Walkway. So this is the end of our journey, and here we are today because we wanted to see the start of the World Cricket. Wow. Yeah.
What a nice way to end your trip.
Absolutely fantastic. I mean, I think that the Black Caps have played really well. It's been exciting. I thought Brendan McCullum got us off to a good start. I thought that Sri Lanka were smart in the middle of the innings, and we looked a bit dangerous there, but we came on really strong at the end with Anderson and Ronke. So I think we've played really well.
Wow, yeah. And are you locals?
No, we're from Christchurch. Yeah.
It's warmer here than it is there.
Hey guys, you got a prime spot here, front and centre. Did you come down just for the cricket, or did the market bring you down here?
Just for the whole experience. I've never really been into cricket, but they're making a spectacle of it, so we'll come down and try and enjoy it. It seems to be a big deal over here.
And you think it's a great thing for the city to put on like this?
Oh, definitely. Some Saturday afternoons we're just stuck at a park or something down the river, but everyone's out enjoying it.
The big screen in 1903 Square was a huge hit with the cricket fans, and the weather as usual was perfect. Buskers on the streets, bands on stage, and outside food stalls all just goes to show how vibrant our city can be. Try doing all that inside a mall. Nelson City has thrown its weight in behind the cricket event with 3 games scheduled to be played in Nelson, with the first taking place this week on Monday. The game was a complete sellout, and police attended what was a well-behaved stadium full of people. Only 2 people were removed from the stadium, 1 for drunkenness and 1 for pitch siding, which is the practice of relaying real-time information of the match to people overseas for betting purposes. It is not a crime in New Zealand, but is prohibited under the ICC Terms and Conditions of Entry. It doesn't happen often, but sometimes there is a bonus to living on the busiest road in Nelson, and that is when the annual car show comes to town. Residents can pull up a chair at their gate, have the chili bin close at hand, and take in the sights and sounds of some of the beautifully restored cars that many of us may remember owning, all from our childhood memories. If it ain't broke, then why try to fix it? Could be a saying that Nelson City Council may need to adopt after their management meeting this week on Wednesday night that drew a crowd of around 50 people. The messages delivered by those attending the meeting were for Council to not close the Brook Valley campground and to keep traffic flow down in the Brook Valley. These public suggestions could be delivering the message that before Council intervened with the running of the camp, everything had been tickety-boo in the hood. So when considering the camp only began making losses under the Council management, to then have Parks and Recreational Tourism Planner Rob Greenaway say after the meeting that one possibility was that it might be leased to a private operator seems Council have come full circle. The plan would be drafted over the next 2 months with a 2-month submissions period followed by a public hearing of submissions with final approval planned for late July. The Gateway Sculpture Project has just about reached its fundraising target with only $1,000 left to find of a $58,000 target for the first of 3 sculptures, and Mainland News discovered this week that the work had already begun to install the first Gateway sculpture at the entrance to the Tasman township of Motueka. The initiative is a joint venture between a group of prominent Ruby Coast artists and the Ruby Coast Initiative Trust. The sculptures will be of a contemporary and enduring nature, highlighting the area's natural beauty and its artistic community. A new paedophile Facebook page has been set up, warning Nelson people of those convicted of sex offences who are living in the region. The page was launched last month and lists the names and details of 24 sex offenders so far believed to be living in the area, which has gained the attention of over 1,000 Nelsonians who are following this page. The government has been working for some time on its own sex offender register, designed for official use by authorities only. The Facebook page isn't the only service available. Sensible Sentencing Trust is a volunteer-based organisation that allows people to look up sex offenders and other criminals in their area. Most profiles include a full name, convictions, and if the person is at large or not. Websites like this can be seen as offering a public service, but what happens to the people on these lists wrongly convicted or that are trying to better their lives? We asked some locals their thoughts on this matter.
I mean, obviously the corrections agency and things are keeping a close eye on people that need to be watched, and it doesn't really, I think people need to be rehabilitated rather than demonised, and I don't know that doing this is going to help, and it depends where the information comes from, if it's accurate or, so.
And I think if you've got children, I think you'd like to know, to be honest,
It's pretty scary stuff, like if you don't know and then you find out later and you've got kids. No, it needs to be out in the public.
I don't really know because I haven't got kids myself, but having younger brothers and sisters, it's good to know who they are, but as long as they're kept out of the way of the public, I don't see they're a threat. The police do an awesome job as it is, so I'm sure they'll deal with them in a way that they deem necessary.
Well, I think it's better for people to take precautions that they need to take. You need to have information to keep yourself safe.
How do you feel about the government making its sex register open to the public?
As long as people are on the sex register that deserve and need to be there, and it isn't just, people aren't just put on without really lots of research and things like that. But again, if you have children, you'd do anything for them.
I just do believe it needs to be out in the open for, we're here to protect kids, not here to protect people that harm kids.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I can understand where people are coming from, that they obviously don't want their children to be victims of pedophiles, but I think for the most part it's people that that someone that knows the child.
We're from the States, and how it works, at least in our state, is you can look up online and see who lives in your area who's a registered sex offender. So you have access to the information.
If that's what parents want and what parents feel is right, go for it. I don't see there's any problem with it.
Original Dutch drawings show the first encounter of European explorer Abel Tasman with New Zealand Māori in 1642, and now University of Canterbury Maritime History student Dr. Roseanne Harwarden has found surprising detail after enlarging a high-resolution scan of the image. The image is of Massacre Bay, the area named after 4 Dutch sailors were killed during this encounter. Embedded in one of the images and almost invisible to the naked eye are a dozen tiny canoes on beaches. This is the first printed image of Māori watercraft on land or at anchor. The 2 canoe beaches identified in the landscape are Taupo Point and Takapo in Wainui Bay, within Golden Bay, and are recorded archaeological sites. Taupo Point is in the Abel Tasman National Park and is a historic pa site drawn by an early surveyor, John Barneycoat, in 1844. His image shows canoes on the same rocky beach, which has been cleared of large boulders to create several canoe haulages which were thought to predate European arrival in the area. If the landing site was in existence before the Dutch arrival, it would be the oldest existing maritime structure in New Zealand and a site of national importance. This research by Dr. Harwarden has been accepted for presentation at the 9th International Conference on Easter Island and the Pacific in Berlin this year. The Nelson Council's 30-minute rule for buskers means they have to move spots every half an hour. So we asked some we found on the street their views on the rule, and we'll leave you with a selection of their sounds.
I need a dollar, darling, a dollar, that's what I need. Hey, hey. I need a dollar, darling, a dollar, that's what I need. Hey, hey, I need a dollar, darling, a dollar, that's what I need. And if I share with you my story, won't you share your dollar with me? Bad times are coming.
Morning, Aaron. Can you tell us where you're from?
I'm from the Philippines originally. I've been living there for 14 years and I just came here 4 years ago. Great. Yeah.
And what styles do you play?
I normally play blues, some acoustic versions of pop songs, a bit of soul, just the normal song, R&B kind of thing, yeah.
With the new council rule about moving on every 30 minutes, has that restricted you at all, or how do you find that?
I respect that, to be honest, because, there's a lot of buskers around Nelson, and when doing that, they have more chance of busking in different places, but it's pretty good. I like it because, they control the environment and everything, the crowd, so it's pretty good.
So you think the whole system of getting registered with the council is a good one?
It's a good one because that means you're not doing anything bad, you're not interrupting anyone, that means you're allowed to do what you want to do. It's a good thing to be registered in some places, yeah.
It can be okay in the bigger cities, I think, when there's a lot of people trying to get in, but I think in smaller places it kills the whole busking scene a bit because it doesn't give that freedom, you have to sort of be forced to do something and it takes away the freedom of what the music is.
I've been here from just 30 minutes ago and I started playing music in street for people of Nelson.
Have you been chalked after 30 minutes in one place?
Yeah, I've been chalked one time. I went because I was in the farmers. I was there for more than an hour. I didn't even know what the rule was back then. So yeah, I got chalked out and it was pretty good. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I'll leave. I respect that. Yeah.
That's great. So you think with respect, the council system is actually working?
It actually is working, and people and the buskers are doing what they can to respect that rule. So it's pretty good, and to see people doing what they love, but at the same time having that rule is pretty good to see. Yeah.
Busking's a lot of fun. It's a great way of entertaining other people, and my 2 daughters here, Alice and Libby. It's a good way of getting them out and exposing them to playing in front of people in a really fun way.
And do you think the people in Nelson are fairly generous towards buskers like yourselves?
I think they are on the whole, yeah. I've done a bit around Nelson now and get a good response from people. It's about if you can get a crowd, a group of people gathering. We've actually had people dancing on the pavement, which is awesome, yeah.
Yeah, usually people give me a lot of money. Yeah. Sometimes it's very fun because people are very, very generous. And sometimes I used to say to the people, don't give me so much money, because sometimes they give me a lot of money, and for me it's better for me. I prefer just playing in street. It's not more for the money. I do that, but yes, usually people are very, very generous with me.
I don't know. I play because it's a compulsion with me. I'm a compulsive piano player. There's worse things you can have. You can be addicted to drugs or drinking, but piano playing. People think it's very innocent, but it's not. It can play havoc with your relationships. That's all I know. But I keep playing anyway,
On
Sunday I go to church. I get down on my knees and pray.
Loping all over town. Extremely busy, don't play around. Cover much ground, got game by the pound. Getting paid is a forte, each and every day you play away. I can't get her out of my mind. I think about the girl all the time. East side to the west side, taking fair rides, ain't no surprise. I got tricks in the stash, lighting up the cash, quick when it comes to the gas. By no means average, you always know when to have it. Baby, you're a perfect 10, I wanna get in. Baby, slow down so I can. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. I'm gonna pop some tags, only got $20 in my pocket. I'm looking for a come up, this is awesome. I'm gonna pop some tags, only got $20 in my pocket. I'm looking for a come up, this is awesome. I need a dollar, that's what I need. Hey, I need a dollar, that's what I need. Hey, I need a dollar, that's what I need. And if I share with you my story, won't you share your dollar? Give me your dollar, share your dollar to me. Yeah. Sweet, thank you.
After the break, we'll bring you the latest weather update and some events and happenings coming up from around the region.
Hi, I'm John McMillan at the Nelson Power Tool Centre. We have great prices on all the top quality brands of power tool. Tools and equipment at our showroom, 146 Tahunanui Drive in Nelson. The Nelson Power Tool Centre, the specialists that stand behind and service what we sell.
Social networking is all the rage on the internet, and millions of people all over the world visit one of the many social media sites every day, like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. A new social network that allows you to get paid for posting pictures. This platform brings e-commerce and social media together in one place and makes it possible to make money by sharing your content online. The system is very simple to use, whether you log into the website or use the mobile app. How does it work? The website works very much like any other social media with a twist. You can earn money from the content you share. You can increase the opportunity of making additional income by connecting your other social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All you need to do is learn 3 simple steps. Snap it, tag it, and share it. Sign up today, http://kiwi1.igrowtour.com.
O2B Healthy.
Lifestyle, diet and exercise, complemented with quality supplements, can provide you the insurance vital for your natural health and well-being. With over 10 years professional experience making some of New Zealand's most trusted nutritional supplement brands, visit the O2B Healthy factory outlet in Wakatu Industrial Estate. Over 200 supplements to choose from, free on-site parking, no middleman.
O2B Healthy. Caring for you naturally.
Why would you want to pay as much as $1,000 for a single bed mattress when you can buy a high quality locally made mattress like this for as little as $220? And a queen size mattress could cost you in excess of $3,000, but at Nelson Beds you could have a mattress like this as low as $425. So why would you go out and spend a fortune on your child's bedroom when you can come to Nelson Beds and buy a complete single mattress and base set, a 7-drawer Scotch chest, a headboard and a 3-drawer bedside cabinet for as little as $979? So call and discuss our custom manufacturing manufacturing options and local after-sales service at Nelson Beds, Nelson's only bedding manufacturer.
We're the team at Jaycar, right here in Nelson, 120 Hardy Street. Our shop is full of electronic items,
including security alarm systems, electronic components,
solar and power,
electronics, toys,
sound systems, cables, and much, much more. Jaycar.
120 Hardy Street, Nelson.
On behalf of the team here at Mainland Television News, thank you for joining us, and we'll bring you the latest news and events from around the region again tomorrow.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
Why would you want to pay as much as $1,000 for a single bed mattress when you can buy a high quality locally made mattress like this for as little as $220? And a queen size mattress could cost you in excess of $3,000, but at Nelson Beds you could have a mattress like this as low as $425. So why would you go out and spend a fortune on your child's bedroom when you can come to Nelson Beds and buy a complete single mattress and base set, a 7-drawer Scotch chest, a headboard and a 3-drawer bedside cabinet for as little as $979? So call and discuss our custom manufacturing options and local after-sales service at Nelson Beds, Nelson's only bedding manufacturer.
Hi, my name's Ian Mortimer. Mortimer Auto Upholstery is your one-stop shop for all your upholstery needs. We do car and boat interiors, boat canopies, ute tonneau covers, canvas and PVC fabrication. Call in and see us in Oxford Mews, 72 Oxford Street, Richmond.
Discover the Belgrove Tavern just 20 minutes south of Richmond on State Highway 6. A restaurant, functions, weddings, barbecue, garden bar with lots of room for kids. Come in, see us.
Oh, to be healthy.
Lifestyle, diet and exercise, complemented with quality supplements, can provide you the insurance vital for your natural health and well-being. With over 10 years professional experience making some of New Zealand's most trusted nutritional supplement brands, visit the O2B Healthy Factory Outlet in Wakatu Industrial Estate. Over 200 supplements to choose from, free on-site parking, no middleman.
Oh, to be healthy. Caring for you naturally.
We're the team at Jaycar, right here in Nelson, 120 Hardy Street. Our shop is full of electronic items,
including security alarm systems, electronic components,
solar and power,
electronics, toys,
sound systems, cables, and much, much more.
Jaycar. 120 Hardy Street, Nelson.
World War I was a defining period in our history, impacting greatly on the lives of people from the Nelson province. Memories of the First World War is an exhibition which will be displayed in a number of regional venues and is currently on at the Nelson Provincial Museum.
Nelson Tire Center. Great prices, great service. Buy your own Bryford trailer. All types, all sizes. See Colin Douglas for your tires and batteries.